Welcome to the BOREDinDE podcast. And now your host, Tucker.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tuck, Jarrell, and we got our special guest, Mr. O'Shay Lolley, one of the best cooks in the area, one of the best cooks, period. I'm glad he's taking some time out to join us here on BOREDinDE. What's going on? What's going on, Chef?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, man, we good. We ain't making no noise here and everything. So, man, let's start from the beginning, man. How long have you been cooking?
Man, about 30 years.
30
about 30 years, I would say. Yeah.
What in the world
I was like,
you?
Cooking.
What inspired you to be a chef?
It was just something I did. It was something I did, actually. I just started doing it. It wasn't nothing that I aspired to be. I just started doing it and cooking in my house. And I noticed, like, even back in the day with oodles and noodles, putting onions in them and making gravy and taking old meat that maybe my mom might have baked chicken out at night, put some chicken in there and made it to like a little yak. So it was like, just experimenting at home.
Yeah, I definitely have never heard anybody say getting oodles and noodles and making a yak.
Sure.
Now I'm going to try.
Yeah, I mean, I've had
It's a massive meal.
Yeah, they just refer to it like a jailhouse meal. I never thought of it like, I never
They're like you making the boner, right?
Now, do you have any formal training, or this is all self-taught?
Yes, I do. I do. Art Institute of Philadelphia. I have a bachelor's in culinary science, actually, and a lot of people don't even know about culinary science. It teaches, basically, honestly, teaches a lot of stuff that you really don't need that use. Like, we learn how to cook. We can cook fish without heating it up, like vinegar, acidity, things like that. It just kind of stuff like that. Those type of things. A lot of people don't. Never use it. Yeah, you don't have to heat it. Now it'll look like it's not cooked, but because the vinegar and the acidity or lemon juice, it actually will cook it. So things like that, people don't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if somebody brought you the fish and they told you they didn't cook it, you would eat it?
Nah, you gotta be careful about that. But I do love sushi though. But you gotta be careful when you're handling fish, because that's a bad day for you if you get some bad fish in you.
That's a fact.
Now, do you have a favorite dish that you like to make?
You know what? I really don't. I honestly don't. I think my favorite cooking. I like to cook. I like cooking Jamaican food.
Okay.
I like cooking curry chicken, jerk chicken, stuff like that.
Now, you had some of the best strawberry butter I ever tasted, bro. Your strawberry butter.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Man,
I appreciate that.
Killed that on them. Oh, man.
Oh, look, we don't upgrade. I got peach butter. We got peach butter now.
Word?
You make it from scratch?
Yeah. Everything's all from scratch.
Okay.
The peach butter is phenomenal, man. Peach.
Now, have you ever made a meal that you was like, I could have did this better, or I'm just not going to cook this ever again?
Sometimes. I did that. What did I do? I'm trying to remember what it was. It was we did like a when I worked at the Sarah King. It was like a brisket, something with goat cheese. We did something. The other chef was trying to let us do it, and it just didn't go right. It was probably the worst meal I've ever made.
Man.
It was terrible.
Did anybody eat it?
No.
Now let me ask you this: being a chef, do you find yourself being analytical or critical when you go out to eat at other restaurants?
Yes. Yes, and you know what? I try to cut that out. Like I'll go eating out with people, and they be like, don't do the chef stuff tonight, because sometimes I can tell when something has been like reheated or hasn't been made properly. So I try my best not to, be so anal about things, but sometimes I can't help it. So there's been times where I go out and they probably want to kick me out. Other times I just chill and eat.
Hold on. So do you say stuff to like the waiter or the chef there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes I'll be on my little arrogant I'm like, you don't want to be. You don't want to be you be on like a little arrogant thing. Something like, because when they start lying to you, I'm very humble guy, y'all. I met y'all, but when you start lying to me, the arrogance comes out. So, we just made this truck. No, I'm a chef. I know this ain't been made. I can tell you probably made this a day ago. So then they start really getting, a little irritated about me, and then they come back and the manager come out. I'm sorry, we didn't know you were a chef, and we'll take care of you. Then it changes to we were supposed to. They're supposed to do it every day, and maybe somebody in the back, and apology comes, and then they usually compliment. And I always tell them, look, I'm not here to get a free meal. That's another thing. That's a blessing and a curse, because sometimes they will try to give me a free meal, but me being a restaurateur, I was like, I don't want to take away from you. I want to make you be better. So I said, I'll pay for my meal. Just make sure you do it right. That's all I want. I'm not here to get a free meal from you.
Now, I see. Let me pull it up real quick. I see that you got something going on for Valentine's Day, dinner by candlelight with Chef O. It's a 5-course meal for two, starting at $450. And I looked at the lineup. I'm like, man, I could probably eat that by myself.
Man, it's just, yeah.
And I like how it looks like you're bringing other people in. Like you can either have a DJ or a soloist, a saxophonist, a violinist, and everything. How did that idea come about?
Well, you know what? I think I've never even done that before. It turned into maybe like a year or two ago. Someone called me and said, "Hey, my wife her birthday's coming. Can you just cook something for her?" I was like, and me being me, I was like, "I'll just come cook. I'll make it for you. Just get the food. I'll do it because we cool. I got you." And then it turned into, even in the midst of COVID, people don't want to go out. A lot of people, they're scared, go and eat and things like that. And so I started doing it, and then I started just doing it at houses, and it turned into a whole, you should do this. And then a friend of mine, a friend of my old guy I know, I watched him start doing it, and he went above and beyond. So he kind of inspired me to try to go a little bit harder with it. So I kind of reached out to a few friends, a DJ, violin, because I am a musician also. So I reached out to a couple of musicians. Hey man, if we do this, we'd like to be a part of it. So it was kind of just birthed out just helping out people. And I just did one not too long ago, and people were so, amazed by it, and they're still talking about it. I said, you know what, let me just start doing this. It's something to do, and people enjoy it. I enjoy when I see people enjoying my food, so it just turned into dinner by candlelight with Chef O.
Well, I know the challenges of going to different kitchens got to be something.
You know what? You're right, and honestly, I haven't had that problem yet. Thank God. Actually, the last, knock on wood. I don't know if this table is really wood. I'm sitting there, it looks like it ain't wood. But the last house I went to was amazing. And I'm gonna shout my boy Hiram out. Hiram and Bernadette Watley. Amazing. The kitchen was so high tech, I couldn't even find a microwave.
Wow.
So I'm like, there's a microwave. I need to reheat something real quick. It turns out it was a drawer. It looks like a cabinet. It was a drawer. And I've never seen the microwave. It slides out like a drawer, like a dresser drawer. Mm-hmm. That's the microwave. Slides out I've never seen a microwave like that. I mean, so really far advanced, people I work with, so yeah, I haven't had that problem yet. And usually when people are paying money like that, most people, and I don't want to be stereotypical, I don't want to go there, but most people when they're paying that money, they got the money and they got the kitchen and the house to pay it.
Okay.
So one guy emailed me. He said, he emailed me this funny story. He said, he messaged me. He said, "Do you know your dinner says it's $450?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the price." So some people, they probably wouldn't pay that, but the people that really do pay that, usually, thank God when I got there, they had an amazing kitchen, an amazing house. Some people I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up on a whole estate, so it's like it's just awesome. I had privilege of cooking for Priest Tyre, hanging out with him, and people, they have really nice kitchens. People have really nice kitchens.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, like, if you're going from kitchen to kitchen, like, maybe, are you bringing your own utensils, or you kind of tell them what you need in advance?
No, I usually just tell them, I need a clean space. That's really what usually I bring just the staples. I always carry my chef knife, maybe like a skillet or two, like a cast iron skillet that I use when I'm searing something. And for the most part, just some few pans, but I don't need much. Most of the stuff is kind of pre-prepped, and I'm just pre-prep, excuse me, and I'm finishing it off when I get there. So for the most part, it's been pretty easy. It hasn't been a headache yet. Now having we talk about that now, I might get a call. Somebody like, one lady didn't actually have a stove, but we worked it out because it wasn't that type of thing. But she just, she was having a stove put in, and it just didn't show up on the day that I was supposed to be there. So we had to make something else.
I'm apologizing in advance if I jinx you, brother. I'm sorry about that.
Man, no jinx, bro.
So when she didn't have a stove.
You know what? That's actually going to share that with y'all later about the Refuge thing. But yeah, I've cooked on. I actually thrive. Funny thing, I actually thrive when I don't have what I need. It's just like it's a gift.
So you like that
I can
challenge.
cook on things. Exactly.
Okay.
Like I've cooked outside in tents. I've cooked in yards. I've cooked in parks, literally in parks for the events because I couldn't use the kitchen and they closed at the last minute and I had to actually buy things and go to a park and cook. So yeah. But I actually a lot of people that experienced me in my earlier years of restaurants and things like that. We had like maybe 20% of what we needed.
Really?
And you never knew.
Yeah. Now let me go here. I've known you and your brothers for a while because I took some pictures. I was a photographer and I did some pictures with your brother and everything.
Great pick.
I have to say, when Twisted Soul opened up several years back and I heard you were the chef, bro, I was there like every day.
I want to interview you. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate. I saw you there, man. I would appreciate you coming in.
And I told you I was killing that strawberry butter. I was killing it. And it's like, your fish, your chicken. I mean, I had no problem with an O'Shay plate. Now, unfortunately, things made a turn left, and you had to leave.
Right.
And there was definitely a major change when you left in the food quality than when you were there. Even though they might have access to your recipes, it just didn't have that same loving touch in it. And I learned at that time that you might have the recipe, but you don't have the love, the heart to go into it, because you put your heart in every plate.
I did. I really did.
Now, what was the cause of that breakup? It was just bad business?
Well, you know what? I'll say that, and I'll tell other people this. When you go into a partnership, there are things that you should also think about before you go in. People have different attitudes, different ideas. We all had, different days when we come in, we feel like a certain thing. I think sometimes instead of really sitting down, a lot of times we had our own ideas of doing things. And you summed it up when you said about the love, cooking on a plate. The Bible says, without the vision, people perish without lack of knowledge. The knowledge was there, but, the passion for me, when people showed up, I wanted to make sure that it was a certain way. Sometimes my over preparation or under preparation, it kind of turned into an issue with some of my other partners. And we just talked about it. I mean, like I say, a lot of partnerships have, disagreements. So, so it's neither anything bad here or good here or there. But I will say, just make sure you all on the same page with ideas, of ideas or visions or, because it's the vision and it was my vision. So sometimes when we don't really go over how we want it, or they might seem like I want to do that. So for me, it was for me to just say, agree to disagree. And, I'll do this, what I mean? So like I said, and I wish everybody, nothing but love, it was definitely a process that we had to deal with. Thank you, sir.
Now, the one thing I did appreciate, because Twisted Soul, it was right in the city, and I loved the decor, I loved everything about it, but what I loved most was that when you had the time, you came out and spoke to everybody. You came out, asked them how the meal was, you were real approachable. Like, you just don't get that often. And you know what I mean? It's like you just genuinely show love. I mean, I actually remember one time, you may not, I was there, and I was on a date, and it's funny that I say I was on a date because my girlfriend now was the bartender there, and I was on a date when she was the bartender, but that's another story for another time.
Right.
But you
laying
came
the
out,
foundation,
and you sent us drinks.
My God.
You sent us drinks. She was like, hey, that's my man. get his lady a glass of wine, and I know he like that brown stuff. Give him that and everything.
Right, that brown.
You enjoy your meal and everything. And I was like, wow,
Right.
like there was nothing we did to cause that.
Right.
You just was out and you saw me. You was like, hey, how you doing, big guy, and everything. Okay, nice to meet you. And you said that, and that meant the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the date didn't work out, but it meant the world.
Yeah. It happens.
And then after you left, I know you had a small stint at this I think it was more like a bar that you were cooking at out there off of what's that, Boxwood Road out there by Deals on Wheels.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And that's not a place. To me, that was kind of like a dive bar, but the food brought me there. It was strictly a dive bar, but Chef brought the elevation up. Like, yo, we were waiting for tables.
Wow.
This is pre-COVID.
Right.
We was waiting for tables.
Right. Yeah.
But people would go there, and it was a dive bar. But the food, we was coming there for the food.
Dive bar with gourmet food.
Yeah, and it was,
yeah, man.
And he put the love behind everything. Like, we followed Chef. Like, it's not too many chefs in the area that people follow. We followed
I appreciate
him.
that, man.
And then when he was, I remember back when he was making dinners out the church. I mean, my mom, God rest her soul, she used to be like, yo, is he cooking today? Go get a plate. And I'm like, yo, just to see you go from there to bigger and better things, man, it's a beautiful thing. And I feel honored that you allowed me a small part of the journey.
Oh, man, I appreciate you having me here, man. It was always good, seeing you out there, and certain people, you want to touch everybody. We learn to touch every table at least 30 seconds when you go out in a restaurant, and you don't want to play favorites, but there are certain people that you just gravitate to as customers and people that patronize you. So you were one of the ones that it was always good to see you there. Others, we might be like, this guy's still here. You know what I mean? But you were one of the ones that, it was always good to see you, man. You brought a good energy. You also helped with the morale, like I said, the bartenders and people. It was good when you came in. You didn't cause no trouble. It was cool. So some people, you appreciate being a part of your restaurant and hanging out, and you don't care how long they stay, things like that.
Yeah, but man, I could go on for days on his macaroni and cheese, his
my God,
his fried chicken, and
Lord Jesus,
orange soda green beans.
Man, wow,
orange soda green beans.
Wow,
it's delicious. And
wow,
nothing overpowered anything else. Like, you could taste the orange soda, but you still taste the green bean. It was a perfect balance, and it was a perfect balance every time, which is kind of hard to achieve. So I go there on a Tuesday and get them. They the same when I go Saturday and when I do the takeout on Sunday. The same. It was beautiful. And like I said, the strawberry butter, I was a fan. Definitely.
Man.
That's one of the most important things for a cook to have that consistency, especially when you make exotic dishes.
Right.
And the one thing I will say with you is that even when you parted ways with that place, I never, ever heard him say anything negative about it. Like, he wished them the best. It's just it didn't work out.
It's all love.
God bless you and everything. And that was it. He never spoke bad. And that proves the kind of man you are.
That's a fact.
It's almost kind of like when I was a young kid and I was at the supermarket with my dad, and he would say, you could tell the kind of person by what they do with the shopping cart when they're done.
Exactly.
And O'Shay is definitely the type person that take the shopping cart back.
Take it all the way back.
Yeah, you could tell the type person somebody is about what they do with the shopping cart. If they just leave it there, they don't care about nothing, because it could damage somebody's car. It can block a space that somebody could use for parking. When you take the cart back, that speaks on your character. And I never forget, my pop told me that. And dealing with O'Shay, I'm like, I feel that. I feel that.
Wow. Man.
So, like I said, dog, I was personally geeky.
You on point, and that's what I do too. Unless I'm really, really, really gotta go, I always put it back.
Right. And I was really geeking when Jarrell was like, yo, do you know a chef? And I'm like, O'Shay. And he handles all the, booking and everything for the show. So that's why he reached out to you instead of me, because that's his role when I need to relinquish some, you know, control to my partner. But when he was like, you was with it, I was like, yeah. I said, I'm mad that we in COVID because I'd had some stuff up and be like, yo, can we pay him to bring some food over and have like a round table? Maybe after COVID's done and everything, we could do something like that. But man, I am a fan of your food, bro. I am a fan. Now, what's going on with you now besides, you know, you're doing the in-home cooking and stuff, especially for the Valentines. So do you have a plan of opening something else after the pandemic?
Hey, a couple things I'm working on. You haven't heard the last from the restaurant industry for me, but right now I'm kind of working on some things, and you'll see something coming up soon. But that was the last thing that we endeavored to do. But you know, this COVID thing has hit a lot of people hard. You know, a lot of people haven't, you know, recouped or came back from it. I'm not claiming that story. I'm not, you know, one of those. I'm not claiming, you know, playing victim. You know, because things happen for a reason. But just stay tuned. There will be some things coming soon.
Now, before we cut out, tell us what you got going on at Refuge.
Refuge, Fred, a really good friend of mine, and he always said he wanted to have something to do with music and community. And like about 15 years later, you know, he said, "Hey, man, God bless us to have a building to do things." We ordered some like a hot plate, things like that, and we taught the children how to prepare meals carefully without burning themselves. Like, you know, in the hood, we grew up with gas. You don't want the kids messing around with a gas stove. So we taught the children how to cook and make meals for themselves in the microwave or like on a George Foreman. So the parents getting off work, and you know, it's a sad reality. Some of these kids, you know, parents, you know, are strung out. You know, kids get home, the parents on the drugs, so things like that. So we learned taught the kids how to sustain themselves. He ordered a bunch of microwaves. We went in, set it up. You know, got the little prep table. You know, the restaurant prep tables in there, and just started teaching these kids, you know, how to cook. And not only were they cooking, but they were actually really cooking because, you know, people teach you how to heat stuff up in the microwave. But, you know, because things that I've learned and how you can actually really use a microwave to cook. Some people can cook turkeys in the microwave. Did you know that? I taught these kids how to cook meals. So they would cook stuff. You know, their family members would get them to cook stuff. A lot of these people have gas in their houses. So, you know, you don't want the children cooking with gas or even electric stove. Even me, I actually had a fire. Chef O, yes, I've had a fire in my own house using a gas stove. So, you know, you don't want these kids to, you know, experience things like that. So we taught them how to use George Foreman grill and microwave, but we didn't stop there because anybody can use a microwave with George Foreman grill. But I actually taught them how to make gourmet meals. I mean, we were making, you know, chicken teriyaki with jasmine rice. We were making shrimp Alfredo. We were making blackened salmon, jambalaya. I mean, real stuff in the microwave. So, so I was actually using the space, and Fred Reed, the owner, his wife Cora, you know, I wanted to start doing some dinners. I said, you know what? Everybody's doing dinners. You know, I'm gonna do something else. I said, you know what? I need to make some money because I'm broke, and I was homeless. Now, not homeless in the sense like living on the street, but homeless meaning I don't have my own house. You know, I'm staying with my mom. I don't have my own place. I didn't even have a car at the time. So I still have the notes to this day that I put in my voice memo in my phone, and I declared that I wouldn't be here anymore. So, you know, I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. I started creating ideas. The Lord gave me ideas about food, and I wanted to do something different. So I came up with fried banana pudding. I came up with barbecue potato salad. I came up with soda greens. I came up with caramel bacon sweet potatoes. I mean, cotton candy wings, peanut butter and jelly wings, caramel apple wings, peach Hennessy barbecue wings. Like everything that I got was just twisted. Fried. We had fried chicken and dumplings, and it just became something. And I started doing it. And Fred was like, you know what? We used to call it Twisted Soul because it's twisted. I was like, you know what? That's it, Twisted Soul. I started it. I just said, you know, I'm going to sell dinners. Fred said, you know what? I got you. Let's go ahead. We bought all this food, like almost $600, $700 worth of food. You know, had all kind of stuff, fish, and nobody came. I think we sold 10 dinners. People that work downstairs at the daycare. They have a daycare. I said, you know what, we can't do this. We took a major hit. So you know what, we're gonna do it again next week. Fish fry with Chef O. A couple more people came, and we was like, we ain't really making no more money. We didn't even break even. So I said, I can't do this no more, man. I said, you know what, let's Fred was like, let's do it one more time. I said, all right, we're gonna do it one more time. I didn't even advertise. I was already discouraged. So I'm not gonna lie. So we just actually did it. My phone blew up. My phone was blowing up. People was calling, are y'all still selling? We actually ended up having like 100 people waiting, and I've never seen people waiting in line for dinners. I mean, it's ridiculous. And we made like $3,000 that day. Like, that's unheard of. It was the point where this is gonna sound funny to you. It was to the point that my success was irritating me. We didn't push the food out fast enough. So, we were successful now, and I'm being successful, but I'm frustrated now. I don't want the success. And then I never told anybody this story. We got behind with the orders. People were kind of, getting frustrated because we were so many people buying, we couldn't push it out. I went to the bathroom and I hid in the bathroom. And that's the true story. My staff was still trying to push it out. They probably looking for me, but I just hid in the bathroom because there was so much pressure. But the pressure was because of my success. So I know that's funny. And then Twisted Soul was born, and we went into the building, and that's history. That's the story. That's how we started.
Wow. How'd you get out of it? Like, how'd you get past that anxiety point of being overwhelmed to go back out and keep cooking? Like, how'd you calm yourself in that space? Because I get it. It sounds overwhelming, especially after 2 weeks of it being kind of light, and then out the blue, it's like everybody here. So how'd you get over that to kind of that anxiety to finish it?
I mean, most of the anxiety was because, just preparation and having what you need. Mm-hmm. So because I didn't have what I needed, it was just like overwhelming. So, just prepping, make sure you got everything. Because like I said, we didn't even have a full kitchen. We had like a tabletop plug-in fryer, a microwave, and like a little hot plate that you might even got out of prison. But I'm telling you, we made miracles, literally miracles happen. So, I mean, we started just upgrading. We started buying more stuff. We started buying more equipment. We started buying more fryers, and just kind of try to make it happen because, the success kept coming. And even with the strawberry butter that Tuck talked about, I mean, even though there were already, and this is a true story, there were a lot of already strawberry butters on the internet. I mean, people had already invented it. I had never heard of strawberry butter. So my recipe that I invented was my recipe. But there's also other people that have other recipes, but that was my recipe. So, strawberry butter was invented. People enjoy the food, and that's why we're here.
I know I have, and are there any plans? Are there any plans in the future for you probably to teach people cooking, like one-on-one classes or something like that?
I've talked about that. I got a lot of things I'm kind of working on right now, as far as other things that's going to take the time away from that. But I would love to do that or offer something, even if not, maybe like around like special times, like maybe like for like Valentine's Day, coming around for Valentine's Day out, learn how to cook a meal for your boo or something like that, or anything, but nothing that on a major basis, but just something
like
probably
a specialty
just
event.
To try it out. Yeah, something specialty.
Because I know one time I was dating a chick in the Bronx, and I dated a lot of chicks. And she took me to this fish market where we prepared the food together. I think it was like a sushi class or something like that. So they taught us how to cook it, and well, not cook it, but prepare it and everything like that. And a lot of people don't understand. You can bond with somebody deeply when you're cooking together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Like us men, if we're not chefs like O'Shay, we usually sit back in the living room while our wives or girlfriends are cooking. But when you actually go in there and you cook with them, or even if you're just helping prep the food, that creates a bond there. And
it is an energy there.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Well, O'Shay, man, I really appreciate you taking time out to work with us and work with us through these little technical difficulties. But, with COVID, we have to, maintain our safety and distance and everything like that. But I appreciate your patience. And this won't be the last time we talk to you, brother. No. Because I told you, as soon as we get past this COVID, I'm going to be like, yo, we got to pay him to come cook something, and we going to be busting up at the round table and everything.
Plus, I'm going to be real with you. Like, for issues that we have, there are some gems in Tuck. No, I'm usually the guy. Like, there are some gems that you said. You know, going back to when you said that you go to a business and as a chef, you don't want to break them down. You want to make them better. So that's why that's how you look at it. Like that to me, it takes away all the arrogance that can come with that as a chef. Like, because that's not even what you're doing it for. The fact that you and I don't know if you see it this way, but to me, what you're doing at Refuge, that translates in my head is a kid is able to feed themselves because mom might be on drugs, dad might be on jail. You know how we get in the city. So the fact that a kid can learn how to feed, you know, as opposed to only eating whatever they could get at school lunch, and now it's in COVID, so they barely getting that. You know what I'm saying? So now that they at least know how to prepare an actual meal, you know, this little 13-year-old kid taking care of his 9-year-old sister. You feel me? Something like that.
Exactly.
That's
Yep.
huge.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Those give backs is and then even when you talked about being overwhelmed and the anxiety that goes in that's a real thing. Like, that's why you was like, it's crazy. You know, it's funny being overwhelmed by your success, but that's a real thing. Like, people take it for granted. When you get it, what you got it, what you gonna do? How do you maintain? So there's a lot of gems you dropped in here. That's just, listen, it's great.
Wow.
But yeah, bro, we appreciate you and everything like that, man. And is there anything you want to say to the people, or how they can find you? I know you're on Facebook, but I don't know if you're doing them other platforms.
Well, first, let me say to you, I appreciate y'all having me on. I mean, you know, it's a pleasure. I mean, an honor. And like I said, I'm looking forward to coming back with y'all and doing it in person. I'm on Facebook. You know, there's nothing special about me. O'Shay Lolley. You know, Lolley. On IG is Chef O'Shay Lolley. You know, or you can reach out to us on our email for the catering company. It's Revival Catering DE as in Delaware. revivalcateringde@gmail.com. That's it, you know, but if you Facebook message me, I'll talk to you. Some people call me all the time. While on video message, I'm like, I just wanted to ask you about cooking. I'm like, okay. But, you know, I'm not hard to get in touch with. I think that's weird when people do that, but, you know.
That's a discussion for another time, because I've been video called on Facebook, and I'm like, yo, I know we just friends, but I don't really know you like this, and why are you calling like this? Your message would have been fine.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, O'Shay, brother, man, you have a good day, a good weekend, man. God bless you and your family, and please stay safe, my man.
Oh, man, God bless you as well. Stay safe.
All right, this is Tuck from BOREDinDE. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. As always, if you haven't already, check out the site at www.boredinde.com. Our social media is all BOREDinDE. We definitely got our store open, so you can get some shirts and hats and everything. And new episodes drop every Thursday wherever you listen to your podcast and our YouTube channel. So peace and have a good night.